The unrest in Manipur continues unabated. Inflation up by as much as 12%.
Actually, it's little below, eased a little bit, and it's 12% is rural Manipur, 9.5% total Manipur, but 71% of Manipur is rural Manipur. It was over 12.5% in June. It's over 12% now. So a little bit of easing over there. But and compare that to their border state Tripura, where it's only about 7%. So Manipur is dealing with a lot of things apart from the strife that it is having to go through. And inflation, which is rural inflation, and it's a rural area, it's north of 12%. Nowhere in India it is that high. Rajasthan is 9.7%.
And inflation in northeast part of India, northeastern region, has always been higher than the mainland India, as we'd like to call it, primarily because it's a difficult terrain. It is a difficult place to supply vegetables very easily, to supply any essential item very easily. And that is reflecting now, mainly on the back of the fact that the unrest is making it more and more difficult by the day.
Absolutely. So like Amit mentioned, you know, the only battle being fought in Manipur is not between the Kukis and the Meiteis, right? The battle has gone on at an individual level where every single resident of the state is dealing with a high inflation. And 70%, in excess of 70%, 71% or so of the state of Manipur still belonging to a rural section of society, and just about 30% or so, less than 30% being urban. Look at the rural inflation numbers, 12%, an average of excess of 12% over the last 3 months. When the conflict had broken out in the month of May, so when April data of inflation came, food inflation was just in the region of about 5% or so. And look at how it has really risen in the month of May, June, and now July, in excess of 12% across all 3 states. So whatever easing we've seen in the month of July is again very high at above 12%. So imagine a state which has been pretty much shut down without access to internet, in a curfew-like scenario, with major clashes between the two units, factions within the state, the Kukis and the Meiteis. And on top of that, of course, because of all of this, supply into the state further gets constrained. And the least that the residents of the state deserve, no matter which faction they belong to, no matter which community they belong to, are 2 squares a day. And if that is coming to them at a price point 12% higher, at a time when whatever job opportunities or whatever employment or daily wage activities that they would have been employed in have been further curtailed because of the violence, it is obviously going to spell havoc for the residents of the state. And this 12% is, like again Amit mentioned, the highest across India. Even other states like Jharkhand and Rajasthan, which have been infamous for high food inflation, are still dealing with single-digit inflation. And here you've got a Manipur which is dealing not just with border mark double-digit, but a excess of 12% inflation is horrible news for the state.
Absolutely. Mired in violence, saddled in high prices, difficult to live net for an average Manipuri at this point in time in the region.
The startling figure is, last year at this time, the CPI in Manipur was 1%.
Okay.
Right.
So that also basically tells you what violence has done to the state of Manipur.
Monsoons, what they've done.
Absolutely.